Scott and Jack here.
How you doing, guys?
How you feeling, Jack?
Oh man, that's $1 million question. I'm sweating bullets. Actually, I'm so nervous, but I feel like that's gonna fade pretty quickly once we start getting into this.
Yeah, for sure.
Ready.
Me too. Just to tell you guys a little bit about ourselves, because I'm pretty sure this would be the first time most of the MMT crew would have seen me at least. I don't know if you've been on the YouTube channel much before.
Don't know if any of the videos have actually gotten up there, to be honest.
Okay, so it's two fresh faces.
Quite possibly, yeah.
I started at MMT pretty recently, just in April or May, so I'm real fresh. Jack, you've been here a little bit longer.
Yeah, probably about the same time last year. So yeah, like I started training just before the first wave of COVID hit Melbourne.
Okay.
And that all kind of kicked off. So yeah.
Cool. So we're both pretty new. We're going to do a session today about meditation.
Yeah.
We might just take a moment before we get into it properly, just to let a few more people trickle in. Can you read on the screen there, Jack?
Ash. Oh, hey Ash, how's it going?
Hey Ash.
Good to
have
see
you
you.
here.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Here. One of those things. Yeah.
I reckon if there's a couple, even if it's just Ash, let's just get started.
I've got 12 people in. Yeah, let's jump into it.
Well, let's do it. Yeah, let's definitely do it.
So tell us a little bit about you, Scott, and about what meditation is and how you kind of relate to this practice.
Okay, yeah, cool. I've been meditating since 2014, so about 7 years. And so it's been a little while now. And I came across it in a workplace that I had. I was working in a co-working space, running a business that I had at the time. And there was a meditation teacher who ran a session there every week. And he would come past and tap everyone on the shoulder and say, oh, there's meditation starting at 12. And so I ignored it for a while, and then eventually one day I think I was more looking to procrastinate than anything else, and I just went and checked it out. I was pretty skeptical, to be honest. But if I'm also being honest, I was having a pretty shit time at the time. It was a difficult patch of my life. And while I was skeptical of what he was talking about, I was pretty miserable and he was really chilled and really happy. And so I was forced to at least look into it and give it some time. And so that was how it began, and I sort of slowly explored it and just gave it more time. Started to realize some of my skepticism was probably not warranted because it was helping me to feel a lot better.
Cool.
And then went deeper and deeper, and sort of with time started to go on meditation retreats. I've been doing that at least once a year for the last 6 years now, since 2015. And I've just slowly explored more and more of meditation practice. So that's kind of a bit of an introduction of my experience, or my early experience with it. What we're gonna do in these sessions, our plan is to do these every week for the rest of lockdown.
At least, probably keep going, but we'll see what kind of ends up on.
Yeah, and so we'll see how we go. And what we've got is we've set up a simple little format where what we're planning to do is we're gonna sit and meditate. And then we're going to have a bit of a longer chat and talk about some ideas, have a conversation, introduce some ideas and concepts, and then we're going to sit and meditate again a second time at the end to finish up the session. And so,
why are we doing that, by the way, Scott? Why did we decide to kind of split them up?
Yeah, so this was an idea that I had when we were chatting about how we wanted to structure it, and there's a couple of reasons why I felt that it would be a really good way to do it. One of them is, I suppose, quite simple, and it comes down to volume. And I guess this is the MMT channel, so they should get it with an analogy to working out.
Reps. It's all about reps.
You got to get your reps up, right? And so, when you're working out, sometimes you might do multiple sets because you might gas out after 10 reps, but you could do 3 sets of 8 reps or something like that, so you can get more volume. And in the same way with this, for a lot of people, we're not sure exactly who's on this call, who's watching and tuning in, and so we wanted to make it accessible. So we don't want to sit here and get everyone to meditate for half an hour straight.
Yeah, that's pretty intense.
Pretty tough if you've got no experience, but we also wanted to give the opportunity for people to have a little bit more time, right? And so what we thought, we can do 2 short ones. And then that way, yeah, you get to do one and then have a break, talk about some ideas, and then we'll do a second one. And then the second reason, and this idea is quite important to me in the way I experience meditation and my journey with it. And it's about this kind of interplay between the techniques and ideas that people use when they meditate, and this other concept of looking at meditation as an opportunity to stop and do nothing. And in the way I was first taught, it was quite strict and quite rigid. There was very specific technique that I was taught to follow, and that was really amazing, and I got a lot out of it. But I also can be a bit of a perfectionist, and I spent many hours sitting on a meditation cushion going, I think I'm doing it wrong, this is going to do nothing. It took me quite a long time.
Yeah, can relate.
Yeah, as you were chatting about this, this is also one that you could probably speak a little more about.
100%. It's really hard. Like, it can be really like challenging not knowing what to do. And I guess like one of the things we wanted to offer in this as well is neither of us can see this, like a caveat, neither of us can see the screen particularly well at the moment, but one of the things we wanted to address going forward is if anyone has any questions, that's something that we both felt like we would have helped our practice and helped us learn a lot faster if we'd had the opportunity to ask questions and get like answers. So we're going to, going forward, be answering any questions that you might have about various meditation practices or speaking to any challenges you might be facing, things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And so with, I guess, some of these ideas and bringing it back to this interaction between techniques and no techniques, by having one session that we do at the start and then another one at the end, in this first one, we're not going to be dealing with any of these ideas. Like, we'll give them to you, we're going to give you all sorts of concepts and ideas and different ways to do it. But to begin with, we're just going to set a timer and sit quietly. And if you've got your own practices that you want to explore, you can go for it. If you haven't meditated before, what I would recommend is just try sitting still, see what happens. If it's hard to stay still, which it might be, see if you can lean into that. If you can't, like, that's cool, then maybe that's where you're at, and that's okay.
Totally. You might also be surprised by how easy you find it as well. Like, you might never have done this and you might be like, oh, is this all there is to it? Like, I can sit still.
Yeah.
So, because that happens sometimes too, right? Sometimes you just get it.
There are good days. I've done a lot of this, and I still have shitty days. But sometimes I have good days.
Yeah.
More good days than I used to.
100%.
And so with that, I might stop rambling. And we're going to set a timer. So I think for this first one, we're going to set it it's 7 minutes.
Yep.
And we're going to sit here for 7 minutes. And as I was saying, if you haven't meditated before, and we're giving you pretty much nothing now, so, be easy on yourself. But try sit still and pay attention to what happens. If all you notice is that your mind is going crazy and you're thinking about how this is silly and these guys are nuts, that's cool. That's
also true.
Yeah. That's cool. That's what this one is for you. And when the timer goes off at the end, we'll have another chat, and I'll pass it over to Jack, and we'll continue on.
Awesome. So there's going to be a bell. We'll sit in silence for 7 minutes, and then there'll be another bell at the end.
Cool.
So whenever you're ready, stop.
Cheers, guys. Let's do it. All right, thanks, guys.
Mm.
How do you find that one, Jack?
Oh man, my mind is going a million miles an hour.
Mine too. Mine too. Meditating live on YouTube. Not so peaceful. Not for me.
Very interesting experience. Cool though. Yeah.
Cool. I suppose one last thing I want to say is if you do have questions that come up at all, as Jack was saying earlier, throw them up in there, and we might not get a chance to look at them today, but we'll go through probably, like look through them to add for content for next week.
Mm-hmm.
And then going from that, I want to sort of pass it over to Jack. And to begin with, Jack, tell me and us a little bit more about your experience, you know, with meditation and introspection as well.
Yeah, totally, man. It's always, I always find it quite interesting, like deciding where I want to start my story actually. But I think I'm just going to start it with how I actually, like literally how I found it. So I decided a few years ago now, I decided that health was the path that I wanted to follow. And that was after numerous attempts at postgraduate study. I think I tried and failed 4 different subjects. So as you can imagine, my student debt is getting up there. You know, like when I decided that I wanted to do health, one of the things I realized really, really quickly, in fact, as soon as I got into that first class, was this is 100% what I want to do, and I really don't want to mess this up. So I decided to I guess take a bit of a risk, do something that I'd never done before, and I went to see a psychologist. And I told her a bit about myself. I don't know how many of you have been to a psychologist, but you kind of unpack a bit about what's going on for you, talk about your experience of life, and they basically just reflect things to you and sometimes offer helpful suggestions if it feels appropriate. Basically help you get different perspectives on things. And one of the things that came up in that was that I, like Scott, I'm quite a perfectionist, and that tended to really get in my way of actually getting anything finished. I was okay at starting things sometimes, but finishing them was really, really hard because it was just never good enough. And I didn't have any kind of faith in myself to be able to actually get there.
I feel ya.
Yeah, so it was just a lot of time in my head, could not kind of disconnect from that at all and couldn't separate myself from my thoughts, which I actually didn't even realize was possible until my psychologist recommended I start with mindfulness meditation. Because meditation was something I'd kind of been interested in and had encountered, as like a kind of cool, kind of woo-woo kind of concept, but had never really been able to make happen for myself. But yeah, she just recommended I get this app and give it a bit of a try. And particularly she was like, I want you to do mindfulness because it's all about getting into your body and being present with what's there in the moment. I don't want you doing visualization meditations and going off on, all of these crazy journeys in your brain. You do that pretty well anyway. Let's get you into the here and now. And that was quite challenging at first, but one of the things that happened that was really cool almost straight off the bat was I started to realize, I can think a thing and then not act on it and not have an emotional response to that thought, which was just absolutely revolutionary to me because I was stuck in all of these really, really stuck in all of these very negative self-talk, very negative stories, really self-limiting kind of ways of looking at the world. And very, very quickly, I was doing really short amounts too. I was doing 1 or 2 minutes a day, sometimes 5 minutes. If I was really, really feeling confident, I'd do 10 minutes a day after a while. But I always started really, really small, and it very quickly got to a point where I was if I had slept in and had to rush out the door, I was really disappointed and actually kind of annoyed that I didn't have time to do my sit for 1 or 2 minutes. So it just ended up kind of growing from there, and becoming a thing I do pretty much on a regular basis, pretty much on a daily basis. So now I just absolutely love it.
Yeah, nice. Nice.
Yeah, and actually the kind of meditation that I started with guided meditations, and I'm actually going to offer a guided meditation tonight, which will be a little bit different from sitting in silence. Before I do that, is there anything you wanted to add to that, Scott?
Oh, no, I think I'm good. I think I'm
can't
good.
put it off anymore.
No, I don't know if I have too much to add to your story. I do definitely. I think it's one of the things, I guess. So maybe I do have something to add. One thing that has been interesting with some of these conversations, I suppose, is like, as you say, talk about both of us being, to some degree, perfectionists. It's been interesting and really like positive as like some of these conversations that we've had between us, and I think this is one of the things that I really hope to bring to some of these conversations, is to realize that, you know, a lot of these patterns we have that we live in that we experience inside, a lot of others, we all also share them, you know. And so sometimes even just like realizing that and understanding it is really helpful, especially when we can then share some of the various different techniques that we've found. And Jack and I both use some quite different techniques as well, which is quite cool, which we'll get a chance to both, you know, over the next few weeks go through a bunch of different stuff to deal with similar problems, you know?
Yeah, it's just like looking at the same thing from multiple different angles, and that's what we're going to, one of the things we want to try and bring every week to everything we kind of present and everything we offer. Not entirely sure what that'll look like, but you know, we'll kind of see what happens. It's part of the fun.
Yeah. Take us through it, Jack.
Cool. All right, here we go. So you won't need anything for this, by the way. And since you've already had like a bit of practice now with Scott, and you have, you know, at least a bit of an idea of what I'm going to be doing with you, and I've kind of rambled on probably enough to get started with. You might just like to start closing down your eyes and make any little adjustments to get yourself really comfortable. As you begin to bring your attention on the inside. Relax your shoulders. Let go of any tension in your face. And let your breath slow down as you continue to drift down even more deeply on the inside. You might notice sounds or even sensations in your body or in the room around you, maybe from outside. And that's okay. You can just welcome all of it. Because in fact, the fact that you can notice these things means that they can actually serve to guide you even deeper as you continue to drift down even more deeply on the inside. And I wonder if you will be aware of what I'm saying as I'm saying it, or if you might prefer to let the conscious part of you go off on a little holiday for the next little while. Knowing that you need only accept any suggestions that feel good and right and true in your body. And that you can simply let any that don't pass you by. But regardless, the fact that you are listening means that you will receive everything that you need from this, whether you remember it consciously or not. As you continue to drift down even more deeply on the inside. That's right. imagine there are certain things that really make you light up on the inside. Particular things that really ignite a brightness inside of you. And of these things, I imagine there may be a specific thing, or maybe some specific things that really, really light you up on the inside. And just get a sense of this thing. Notice the specific sensations you feel in your body when you allow yourself to really light up on the inside. Notice any images, the quality that they have, and any sounds associated with this. As you continue to simultaneously drift down and light up on the inside. And as you do, make it so bright that it begins to beam out of you. Make the colours brighter and more vibrant. Pay extra close attention to the sensations and turn them up ever so slowly. Keep turning brighter and brighter and brighter, and smile, that particular kind of smile that you smile with your whole body. Maybe you feel sparks dancing across your skin, or maybe tingles rippling down through your body. You might see big, bright, colourful images, or maybe it's something else entirely. As you continue to smile, this particular smile that you smile with your whole body. And as you do this now, turn your attention towards your future, wherever that may be in relation to you. Move towards and into it now, and see it open up before you, big and bright and colourful. See those particular sights, hear the specific sounds, and feel those particular sensations that are possible for you now. As you continue to smile, this particular smile that you smile with your whole body. Become aware of the many ways that the lives of those around you light up when you have this now. And it's funny, isn't it? How just by being around you, even complete strangers can feel good. As you continue to smile, this particular smile that you smile with your whole body. Bring all of this with you and come back to the present now, only as fast as feels comfortable. Become aware of your body, the physical weight and presence of your body. Of the room around you. Sounds and sensations that fill it. Gently begin moving your fingers and toes and coming back into the room, taking a deep breath and opening your eyes. And I don't know if over the coming days and weeks and months if you'll be aware of the effects of this as they occur, or if someone will point them out to you one day that something they've noticed is different. Or if maybe it will all just come flooding back to you in a way that's like easy and unobtrusive. But I look forward to hearing just how this has kind of gone for you guys. I'd love to hear anything you have to share or any feedback that you have. I'd love to hear just how cool things can get for you.
Nice. Cool, thanks Jack.
No worries. Thanks man. Thanks guys. Hopefully you're still awake.
I feel like I'm still coming back after that one actually.
And that's cool. So take all the time you need.
Well, I feel like we're getting close to the end.
Yeah.
What have you got? Have you got any ideas or anything that you want to close on for today?
I think I just like to close with, I think like the biggest thing is like these are really awesome practices. Like meditation, I think is something that like if it's not something you've ever done before can seem super daunting. And maybe like feel like it's a little bit out of reach, but really all you need to do is just like sit. And if it's something that you'd like to do, just start small. Seriously, like 1 or 2 minutes. 1 or 2 minutes a day will absolutely change your life, I guarantee. You do that for like 2-3 months, your whole world will be completely different.
Yeah.
100% guarantee that.
Yeah, I can't say that. I can't say anything to support that, you know, to stand by that strongly enough.
Yeah.
Start small. Start small and work up. You know, like, over the last few years I've been through periods where I sit for a couple of hours a day, but I started with 5 minutes, you know? And that gap, it seemed insurmountable to me, you know, but it happens and it starts with a minute. So yeah, I definitely feel like it's one thing, maybe even a bit of a challenge for some of you out there. Try to sit for 1 minute.
Yeah.
1 minute every day between now and next Thursday. And if when the timer goes off you want to go for longer, then go for it. Don't let it stop you.
Yeah.
But aim for just one, you know?
Yeah, just get the reps in. If you do like sit by yourself for like sit in meditation for what 10 1-minute intervals a day. That's 10-minute meditation.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it all at once.
Yeah.
Space out if you need to.
Yeah, exactly. And I've seen there have been some comments and stuff popping up. We can't really
see
see
from
it.
this far away.
I also
We'll have a look through
don't
them.
even know how to use the app to get at them. So I feel like all you're going to see is a lot of my nose hairs as I squint at the phone to try. But we'll look through all of that and we'll write some comments and stuff if there's anything there. But we'll also, try and bring anything that's in there in for next week as well.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you so much for your support, guys. This
Cool.
has been an absolute pleasure to share with you.
Yeah,
I look forward to doing more of it.
Thank you all so much.
Thanks, guys.
I know, and now we're trying to work out how to finish it. Cool. Cheers, guys. See you next week.